Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. All right, welcome back for another episode of the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the Marvelous One and Don back at it again for another episode. Today we have another guest host, my boy Dee Riles, representing Steelers fans out there. What's up, Dee Riles?
What's going on? How you doing? How you doing?
We good, man. So, look, I must say, man, the Saints are on a 2-game winning streak. 2 games, man. 2 in a row. We still in the playoff hunt, although it's like a 4% chance of getting into the playoffs, but still in all, we winning. And I gotta say it, man. My defense is playing lights out now. I got a young cornerback, Alontae Taylor, playing his tail off out there. We got some young defensive players, Caden Ellis making big plays, to go along with the old veterans on the team. So they're doing their thing. I like how they shut down that running game. But I got to admit, the Browns helped us out a little bit. You would have thought in the snow that, they would have ran the ball more. But somehow Deshaun Watson threw 31 passes. It's like in the snow and that strong gust of wind. What? My quarterback threw 15 passes for 92 yards. Andy Dalton. Hey, it's Andy. He's okay. Not bad. He's not Jameis Winston bad, but, he's okay, whatever. But they mixed in some Taysom Hill. Dude comes out there, 9 carries, 56 yards, killing it, and a touchdown. And then when he's out there, like I've always said, those running quarterbacks, with your running back, that read option holds that defensive end. Your running back goes off Elvin Kamara with 20 carries for 76 yards. I don't want to hear it again. A dome team went outside in the snow because we can in the frigid temperatures. Take that. Saints have a winning record on the road, in the snow, in bad weather. It doesn't matter. We just win. So take that. So what you got to say about your Ravens, Don?
Oh man, hey, like I said before, we kind of figured it out. We simplified the offense. I think when we play simple offense, I think we were less susceptible for turnovers, and that was real good because Huntley 0 as far as interceptions, QB rating in 94. It wasn't great, but wasn't that bad. And we still we pounding that ball on that ground. 99 yards from Gus Dobbins. He's bringing up the rear with a strong 60 with a couple of touches and things of that nature. Offense could use a little bit more life on the reception end. Right now, still number 1 receiver, still is going to be our go-to guy, which is Mark Andrews. But we got Samuel Watkins, and we still got someone that can take the top off, even though he's old. But in his spot performances, Deshaun Jackson is going to play pivotal, in the playoff run. One thing I'm looking for is also Robinson to start stepping up. And our second wide receivers, wide receivers, when we go in that double tight end set, start going not so much as Mark, but start hitting a likely, because right now he's another big target that we have, and that plays into the ball control with the screens and things, slow down the blitzes and things of that nature. Defense playing good ball, as we said before, limiting people to just field goals. And I think that's what the Ravens, need to do. But I think that Harbaugh learned early from the last time that when we're in the red zone, you just take the 3, man. Don't try to go forward on 4th down and try to, play victim to the fans, man. You take that money and you go back and you play solid defense. And I think that was the telltale sign of the whole game. Us not playing too risque with the defense, playing solid, and also taking the points when they gave it to us. So I think that we're in a good shape for a nice playoff extension. And right now, if we hold it down, we're in perfect position for a good playoff run with Lamar coming back healthy.
Do you know when he's coming back healthy?
That's a good question. So I would say right now, I wouldn't bring him to the Steelers game. We need to rest him because winning one regular season game is not going to change us, up or down. Now, yes, the last game of the season, if it comes down to it, yes, we probably want to beat Cincinnati if it's going to put us in the driver's seat. But at the same time, I mean, it doesn't matter. Once you're in the playoffs, the score is 0-0, and we need a healthy Lamar in order to make that playoff run because he's that dynamic. And yes, we don't have a number one wide receiver, but he allows people to get open due to the fact that he's a threat in that box. So he's going to make that safety play up.
Yep. Hey, that's the thing about it. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, they all do the same thing, man.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So Dee Riles, welcome to the show, man. Tell me about the Steelers, man. That was a big win against the Raiders. I actually picked the Raiders to win this game.
Wow, and that's something. Well, it was the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. It's 50 years. It was frigid temperatures. It was a tough game. We were glad to get a win coming out of there, but the conditions were terrible. But we got the win, and we take it one game at a time. Next up is the Ravens, team we've beaten. Well, we lost our last game 16-14, but before that, we swept them for the last 2 years in 2020 and 2021. So I look forward to playing them. I always like playing the Ravens. I don't really respect their passing attack. They got a good defense and a good running game, but like I said before the show, we're 2 years away from being able to compete with Kansas City and Buffalo and Cincinnati. We're 2 years from being able to compete with those type of teams, those teams that are poised to go to the Super Bowl. So those are teams that we have a target on. We're looking at teams like that as a measuring stick. Everybody else is just everybody else.
Okay. Well, you started off with the 50-year anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. With that in mind, I mean, what's your thoughts on the loss of Franco Harris, man, and his impact to the Steelers franchise and the NFL as a whole?
It was sad. He was a great player. From what everybody says about him, he was just a great guy. But anytime you lose a Hall of Fame player, an iconic player like that, it's always sad. I don't care who he plays for. It was just a big loss. He was supposed to give a speech. I think he did the last interview on Tuesday. He died on a Wednesday. We were supposed to honor him on Saturday.
Right.
So it was tough for the city, tough loss.
Yeah. And I feel like that play, that miracle play kind of spurred on the years of success for the Steelers at that time, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that was a playoff victory that he caught
First
that.
one.
Yeah.
First playoff victory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
man.
I believe he still leads I think he still holds the record for most playoff rushing yards, most Super Bowl rushing yards, something like that. I think it's most Super Bowl rushing yards because he's been in 4 of them.
Right.
And he played well in all of them. So I think he still holds that record. You know what I'm saying? So iconic player, tough loss for the city. But I mean, such is life. Can't live forever.
Right. Okay. So I know you talked about the roster saying that you're 2 years away, and you and I had this conversation before, right? That Mike Tomlin has his early success. A lot of that was mostly with Bill Cowher's acquired and developed players, right? So
absolutely.
So you see him building this team up in his own image and likeness now, right? With T.J. Watt, Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, George Pickens, Mika Fitzpatrick, right? And you got your young quarterback, right? I mean, you feel that you're there?
Again, 2 years away. We need some pieces. We need to be back to playing at a high level and being able to compete again with the powerhouse teams like Buffalo, like Kansas City, teams like that. We need offensive linemen, and we need a defensive tackle, strong defensive tackle. So those are some key pieces that we need to be able to compete. I think my quarterback needs more experience. Again, he's about 2 years away from having that experience.
So he's your franchise quarterback.
I believe in him. I like him. Yes.
Okay.
I like him.
Okay.
I like him. I'm proud of Mike Tomlin. It was looking very bad for us at one point, and they was able to stay the course. Got a few wins under our belt, and the season is not as bad as it was, I would say, about 4 weeks ago. So you know, I like the direction of the franchise right now. I like where it's going. I like my coach. I like what he's doing with what he's had to work with. Most coaches can't take a rookie quarterback and you know start winning with him. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
must
know,
say 6 and
and we
8.
started
6 and
and
8
we
is pretty
start
good.
and we started with Mr. Trubisky. Keep that
Yeah,
in mind. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I commend him. I tip, I take my hat off to him. He's doing a good job.
Okay, okay. So, I think this was a question Don had for you about, Steelers are known for their defense. I mean, what happened? What needs to get done to be back to the old Steelers steel curtain?
Well, first of all, I think that um, the offense not being great, turning the ball over. We don't have the running game we want. I mean, I'm now just averaging about 3.5 yards a carry.
Mm,
So when you keep turning the ball over, keep having to punt the ball, anybody's defense is going to get tight. I mean, that's just how it is. When you don't have an offense to sustain 10, 12, 15 play drives, your defense is on the field too long.
that's so
You
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's not so much that the defense is bad. Sometimes you gotta look at, well, how good is the offense?
yeah.
If the,
No,
off- if the offense ain't good,
we're having the same problem in New Orleans. It's making our defense look bad.
yeah,
And got us questioning whether or not our defense is really good. But when the offense is not sustaining drives, you got 3 straight 3-and-outs. Your defense is always on the field, right?
right,
Yeah,
right. And to Baltimore's credit, I think that's one of the things they do well. They run the ball, they chew up clock. Their defense gets a lot of rest on the sideline.
yeah.
From at certain points, Lamar can't keep the chains moving. Now,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Was that a compliment for the Ravens?
I
Did you
give
just make a
yeah
compliment?
yeah I give them credit where credit is due in certain areas. You know what I
Wow.
mean? In certain areas, I don't hate the Ravens. I mean, keep in mind they're like my little brother. I don't hate them. You know what I mean? I don't hate them. I mean, come on. The rival right now is 32-25. They're like little brothers. They're like the little guys to me. I think they've
that's,
only won what?
that's not a
I mean,
rivalry then, right? Because in the rivalry, I beat you, you beat me type of deal. It
I
goes
mean,
back and forth.
you know what, man? When I look at them, I kind of grin. They have a lot of ambition. You know what I'm saying? And they want the best for themselves. So I respect that. But they run the ball a lot. They chew up clock. The defense stays well rested. It's just their passing game is unimpressive. You know what I mean? But they can run the ball. They can play defense. But if they ever get in the game, they have to throw the ball to come back. I just don't think that's their game.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I think for them, a good strategy for them is to always keep the score close. You know what I mean? I don't think they can win a shootout game. I don't think they're built for
Don, you all right? You like you about to explode.
it. no.
Yeah, Marv. I mean, we've been nice to our guests for a little bit far too long. This is where I come in and start asking some real questions, you know. So he said something that was very pivotal, and you alluded to it, but he did not go into depth. 2 years away. So how are you going to fix a broken roster in 2 years? And how are you going to do that through free agency or through the draft?
I don't think the roster is broken. That's a strong word. You know what I'm saying? To say it's broken. I just think that we need a few pieces. Again, we need a defensive tackle. We need the offensive line to gel. Even adding maybe one to two players, and we need a third wide receiver. The two receivers we had are legitimate. George Pickens has had an outstanding rookie season. Um, Deontay Johnson is solid. Pat Fry moved to tight end is having a great season. So those three, the two wide receivers and the tight end, are very good. I like where they are. I like my running back. I would just like him to have some more blocking. But a third wide receiver, I think, could really open up that offense. So again, 2 years away for the quarterback to gain experience. Gain more experience. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna be all right. I really believe that. I really believe we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, so you talked about that quarterback. Only 2,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So that's real lopsided, and his QBR is pitiful and 46%. So how is he a quarterback of the future when he can't push the ball? He's not a running quarterback. He's a typical pocket passer. So I understand you want to beef up the line, but he's got to make more completions to your team rather than the other team.
Well, I mean, we could have this conversation, but I would have to go back and look at Lamar Jackson's rookie year. You know what I mean? How many pass yards he's put up? I think as a starting quarterback, how many yards has Lamar Jackson put up so far? Was it 2,200? You know what I mean? My God, you know what I'm saying? That's not a whole
Yeah,
lot. That's not a whole lot for a starting quarterback. You know what I
but
mean?
he doesn't turn
2,200
the ball
yards.
over. Turnovers kill you with a weak defense.
Okay. Doesn't turn the ball over. Okay. All right. Well, listen, man. I tell you what, man. Good luck in the playoffs. I don't think you're gonna go far personally. Again, you don't have a polished passing game. I can't think of any receivers on your team. I mean, I heard you speak of uh God, what's the journeyman name? He's been on everybody's team. What's his name?
Sammy Watkins, yeah, go ahead.
Not well,
Deshaun
not
Jackson.
yeah, him. Well, both of them have been on everybody's team, but
Correct.
especially
We going
Deshaun
veterans.
Jackson.
So the
I mean, you.
compliment stock. I see. No
I
more
mean,
compliments.
Those
I
are the
mean,
same two guys that's going to give you problems next week.
I
So
mean,
I hope they listen.
you really want to kick the tires on Jackson. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, he's fast, but he normally when last time he played, gosh, does he play the whole game now? Like I always see him hurt.
he,
When
he
like
always
towards
got a pull hamstring.
yeah, it's always something. It's always something blown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a
That,
hangnail. There's
so
always something wrong with
Hey,
him.
we talking to
I
two teams with quarterback problems.
I don't know if
Evaluate quarterbacks. Continue.
I don't know if any defensive coordinator is staying up all night thinking about Lamar. I mean, thinking about Jackson. I just don't think so, man. He was good 10 years ago, but
You mean that
he's just
Lamar Jackson will not give you a nightmare in the playoffs? You
I think
honestly
he, I think
believe
he
that?
talking about
no
Deshaun.
Oh,
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson?
Lamar Jackson is good. I mean, how's that knee coming? Is he okay?
Hey, so I'm glad you said that. So and well, we have enough cushion within our division right now to actually in last week we are in the playoffs. So we're going to start the second part of the series that a lot of people don't get to participate in. We're going to start that season 0-0. So that's how the second season starts for those who don't haven't been there in a while. Pittsburgh Steelers. The second part of the season starts 0-0. So it doesn't matter where we play is the fact that we are going to play. And if we're going to play, we need Lamar healthy. That's the number one thing. So
No.
as much as I would like for Lamar to come into Pittsburgh and then dance on y'all like we normally do, I think that
You
I
won
mean
one out of.
it's not a game that's worth it. I mean right now,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, I gotta
the
push back.
game is not worth it. It's
I,
not
I gotta
worth
put.
it.
I gotta push back. You won one out your last 5 games against Pittsburgh, and you said Lamar danced like he normally does on us. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, why am I risk my franchise quarterback for a team that ain't gonna make the playoffs? I mean, right now you're in the basement.
Okay. All right. So y'all know how the show works, man. We're gonna go to the recap. We're gonna recap this, But wait, we're not gonna let you off the hook. We're not gonna let you off the hook, Dee Riles. What's your prediction for the season? You got 2 games left. What's your final record? Are you making the playoffs?
You know what? I think we have a puncher's chance. I think we can win. The last 2 games are winnable. We play the Ravens, you know what I'm saying, and we play Cleveland. I think the last 2 games are winnable. We have a
Okay.
puncher's chance.
So
Yeah.
so you telling me you're going what that'll be 8-9?
That'd be 9-8.
9-8. Okay. All right.
No.
So you're telling me you're gonna make the playoffs.
You know what?
Because I mean, puncher's chance don't get you in the playoffs. Either you get there or you don't.
Listen, we're gonna need some help, man.
Yeah, you're gonna need some
We're gonna
serious help.
we're gonna need some help. So I mean, I say win out and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay.
Because yeah.
That sounds like y'all ain't making it.
Hey Marvin, he got a punch his chance with short arms.
Right, yeah. All right. Well, let's go. Let's do the recap real quick, and then we'll close out with our predictions. All right, you gonna participate with the predictions?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do this. All right, let's go with the recap. All right, so first up, we had the Jets and the Jaguars. The Jets were the home team. It was a Thursday night game in New York. I went ahead with the Jets. This is before I knew Mike White was not going to play. If I had known they were going to Zach Wilson, hell yeah, I would have picked the Jaguars to win this game. But Mike White, with the rib injury, missed the second game. The Jaguars won this game 19-3. So, yeah, even though the Jets were 1 point home favorites, but I think they were also thinking Mike White was going to be ready for this game. All right. Saturday games, we had the Bears at home against the Bills. The Bills were 9 point home road favorites. We all went with the Bills. Yeah, we knew they were going to beat the Bears. Although I feel sorry for Justin Fields. I mean, that kid is putting in a lot of work, and the wins are just not coming for him. But I think that's just what you go through as a rookie quarterback, you know. So
huge cap space.
Yeah, well. Yeah, they going to make some moves. I mean, this is his second year. He's not a rookie, but this is his second year, young quarterback. So I think that third year they stack some players around him, get him a strong defense. I can see the Bears making some moves with this kid. So we'll see. All right, next, the big game of the week, man. Watching this game in the airport, the Browns at home against the Saints. The Browns were 2.5 point home favorites in the snow, in the inclement weather. At first, I actually went with the Browns, and I changed my pick. It was just something in my heart that told me, hey, the Saints are going to win this. Don't worry about the weather. The Browns are going to be dumb and not run Nick Chubb. Well, yeah, the Browns only gave him 21 carries and should have gave him 50. But hey, I'm not the coach of the Browns. They lost this game. All right, next we have the Titans at home against the Texans. The Titans were 5 point home favorites, and the Texans won this game. So we had Phil and Philly pick this. The Philadelphia fanatic, they picked the Texans, and they got this right. Don and I got this one wrong. So,
man,
hey.
That was a lucky, man. I don't even know what happened that game. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I don't know either, but come on, we all got to admit, the Texans have been on the doorstep. They was on the doorstep with the Chiefs, with the Cowboys, and I feel like I'm missing another team. They had 3 straight games before this game where they were that close to beating a really good team. So we shouldn't have been surprised, and then we shouldn't have been surprised because I wouldn't have picked the Titans, if I had known Tannehill wasn't going to play. Tannehill is out for the season now. So yeah. I think the Titans are done, and the Jaguars are going to win this division.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We ain't going to get to it. That's more talk later.
Yeah. I'll save that. But I'm not convinced Malik Willis is ready to start for the Titans and lead this team, even though they got a lot around him. All right. Next, we had the Chiefs at home against the Seahawks. Chiefs were 9.5 point home favorites. I went ahead with the Seahawks thinking that, the Seahawks just couldn't afford to win this game. Don, Phil, and Philly with the Chiefs. And, of course, they won. I'm done with Geno. He had a nice run in the beginning, but I'm done with it now. All right, next we had the Vikings at home against the Giants. The Vikings were 3.5 point home favorites. Here's another one. I felt that the Giants couldn't afford to lose this game. Yeah, it was a bold pick. Yeah, not as bold as the Seahawks over the Chiefs. But this one was a bold pick. The Vikings got the win. The Vikings have won a lot of close games this year. I know they battle tested, but hell, they're gonna be pretty beat up going into the playoffs.
I don't think so. I think that close games are what playoffs football is about, and I think that knowing how to finish. If you look at how they're finishing strong in the fourth quarter. Just like I said, they're winning the games the Ravens weren't winning. They're winning the fourth quarter. So they learned how to win the fourth quarter. So that might be a little bit dangerous. And they got the number 1 receiver in the league in Jefferson. Yeah,
that's true. We'll see. Their defense they don't look that strong on defense. And Phil has been telling us that for quite a while. So I give him credit on it. He's been saying that for a while, that the defense is not good. But he got to give Kirk Cousins some credit. Kurt has been putting in some work.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Yes, sir. All right, next we had the Patriots at home against the Bengals. The Bengals were 3.5-point road favorites. The Bengals won this game 22-18. Don, you were the only one to go with the Patriots. You thought Belichick was going to pull out a miracle here, but not so fast.
And if you look at it, like the game, the Bengals was trying to give him the game back in the end, but they just couldn't. I mean, because if you look at it, they did the majority of their damage in the first half. The second half of the game, they didn't. They went donut. So the Patriots made the adjustment that they did. Matter of fact, they switched first halves because the Patriots got donut on the first half, and then the Bengals got donut on the second half. It just so happened that they just didn't put up enough points. They gave up 22 in the first half, which killed them. Yep. You know, you gave up 12 in the first quarter, 10 in the second, and then, you know, they just couldn't come back from that. But they tried. But I thought Belichick was going to pull that one out. But hats off to whoever his defensive coordinator is, because that second half adjustment that they made, that was pivotal.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, how you guys feel about the Bengals winning this division? I mean, you two have owned this division for years, and the new kids on the block getting ready to take over.
I don't think they're going to take over. I think right now they still are susceptible to a non-running quarterback. So we know, I mean, everybody know where he's going to be. He's going to be sitting in that pocket. He has no wheels. And I just don't think that he has that backside, that blind side that's going to protect him. I think he's going to get sacked a whole bunch. And I think that if you double over the top, I don't think that Chase is that guy that go across the middle. He's the guy that takes the top off. He's not the guy that goes across the middle. Teams are going to make that second half adjustment, just like they did with Miami, and they're going to start sending people across the middle. When you take the top off and you start sending teams across the middle, that's the markings of a quarterback who can make good reads.
Darryl?
Well, I'll tell you what. I give credit to what credit is due, man. They got a good team. They got a good quarterback. They have a great running back, and they got 3 great receivers.
Yeah,
they're gonna be hard to stop for some years to come. If they can keep that team together, it'll be hard to stop for some years to come. So we got to catch up.
Yeah, well, and I know, because I was a little upset when we let Trey Hendrickson go to the Bengals. Man, I was dude had 13 sacks his last season with the Saints. He was dominant, and yeah, he doesn't wow you with his size or his speed or anything like that, but dude knows how to get to the quarterback. So they got a solid defensive end.
And did you get any draft picks in return for that?
No, they just want to pay.
That's the bad business that's been plaguing y'all, is that it's okay to give up something, but you got to get something in return.
But once again, my team falls into the trap of getting excited, by somebody's size and speed, because we got a young guy, Davenport, Marcus Davenport, 6'5", runs off the charts. He looks imposing, but he just doesn't get it done. And then the main ability that he lacks is availability. Always injured. You know what I mean? So to me, it's about just rewarding players who perform on the field. I don't care how they look. So.
Well, here's the thing with the Bengals. For years they were bad teams that the Bengals had. So they've had top picks for a long time.
Yep. So
to see them now, for all that, to come together and they start winning, they got a good squad. I'm not mad at them.
Yep.
Look how long they suffered.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Marv couldn't bring it together. You're right.
Yeah, so they got a good squad now. If they can keep it together, hey, hats off to them. It just makes our division stronger. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I always invite competition. I get tired of beating up on Baltimore, so I invite the competition.
All right, moving on. Next slide. We're gonna go to the Panthers at home against the Lions. The Lions were 2.5-point road favorites. Phil was the only one to go with the Panthers, and the Panthers won this game, man. Like I told you before, I don't know which Panthers team is going to show up. I mean, they came in, they demolished the Lions, 37-23. I mean, don't let that score fool you thinking that the Lions kept it close or whatever. No, this was a complete blowout. The Lions kind of came back towards the end, but yeah, the Panthers had this game in control. And like I've told y'all before, this team is just missing a quarterback. They got some decent players around, decent players on this team. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs over the Tampa Bay Bucks, because the Bucks look vulnerable right now. Right now, believe it or not, the Panthers have the best chance of making the playoffs, of winning the NFC South. They control their own destiny. They beat the Bucks, and then they beat the Saints the last game of the season. The Panthers, the team that fired their head coach, could be making the daggone playoffs and winning the NFC South division. Insane.
And that's crazy, because I was going the opposite way. I didn't know what Detroit Lions team, because Detroit can put up points. They can move the ball. But it's just that other side of that, it's two sides of the field. That's their defense. So I was going to lean in the other direction. Like, I don't know what Detroit team is going to show up, because for a while we thought Detroit was the team that nobody wanted to face in the playoffs. And now I think it's vice versa.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point, because didn't the Lions win their last 2 to 3 games, and they won some big ones? They beat the Vikings. I'm trying to remember the other team that they beat, the team they beat last week. So they've been putting up, been doing pretty well. They beat the Jets, they beat the Vikings, and they beat the Jaguars. So they won a 3-game winning streak. They put 40 on the Jaguars. That wasn't even close. So that was kind of surprising.
The Jaguars, the Vikings, and the Jets.
Yes, yeah.
And before then, before they lost to the Bills, they beat the Giants and they beat the Bears. So my fault, they had a nice little winning streak. They beat the Packers, Bears, Giants, lost to the Bills, then won against the Jaguar, Vikings, and the Jets. Yeah, they had a good three game spurt in between some losses. Yeah. So I thought that Panther game was going help solidify some things, but it just didn't.
Yeah, well, like I said, the Panthers are a tough team to really judge, man. So we'll see what happens. I'll save my prediction for the game the Panthers have against the Bucks for later. All right, next we had the Ravens at home against the Falcons. The Ravens were 7.5-point home favorites, and Phil, this was supposed to be his big, bold pick. He picked the Falcons. And the Ravens won this game 17-9. I'm not impressed with Desmond Ridder. And hey, this could just be, his rookie year, and he just needs some more time to develop. He went 22 for 33, so pretty decent, 218 yards. But they got a long way, and I think they've kind of waved the white flag to just give in on this season, which I'm fine with. It's the Falcons. I don't care about the Falcons. All right. You got something you want to say about this game?
Barbecue chicken. Charles Barkley, barbecue chicken.
Oh, you got this smirk on your face,
barbecue chicken.
Like I told you, I don't care who's at quarterback for the Ravens. You're beating the Falcons. The Falcons look bad. They're gonna put me back there at quarterback. But anyway, I digress.
I just got to mend my relationship with Nate the Great. He's a Falcons fan, so I just got to spend it, because it was just like watching the Titanic.
Yeah.
At the end, you just know the boat sank.
Yeah. Shout outs to Nate. I mean, he had some high hopes for the Falcons. They're falling apart. All right, next slide. 49ers at home against the Commanders. The 49ers were 7-point home favorites here. Phil won with the Commanders on this, and the 49ers won the game 37-20. The rest of us went with the 49ers. We obviously got the win here. Come on, man. This is Kyle Shanahan football team. I don't care. 49ers are going to win. All right, next is this was the big one here. This is why we had Philly Fanatic on last week to talk about the Cowboys at home against the Eagles. The Cowboys were 5-point home favorites here. All of you guys except for me, I went with the Cowboys. Y'all went with the Eagles. There's no way that the Eagles are going to win this game with a backup quarterback, and the Cowboys won it, like I told you. Even though the Cowboys had to convert, 3rd and 30 to T.Y. Hilton to keep the drive alive.
So I'm a brush on this, because we got avid, we got silent silent,
fans?
scared. No,
Oh.
silent, scared Philly fans.
Yeah.
And I say silent and they scared. And I see why they scared, because when the wheels fall off, it fall all the way off. And right now, Dallas felt real comfortable. And I was like, why does Dallas feel so comfortable? Want to tell you why? Because they realized that playing Philly is nothing but a 7-on-7 drill. That defense was horrible. And last time I checked, Hurts plays offense.
Yep.
So Philly got a lot that they need to address.
Maybe,
Come playoff time.
Like you said, this is probably why their fans are so nervous about this. I mean, normally they walking around beating on their chest, talking about how great their team is. They're real quiet this season. I see why. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Next, we have the Steelers at home against the Raiders. We all went with the Raiders on this, even though the Steelers were actually 3-point home favorites. So Vegas obviously knew something about this. So I didn't get a chance to talk to Dee Riles before this game to see what he was predicting. But yeah, I was a bit surprised that the Steelers went ahead and won this game 13-10. And I saw some of the highlights. I didn't actually see this game, but it was pretty exciting game towards the end, right?
Well, let me tell you something, man. For quite some time, for whatever reason, the strangest reason, the Raiders have owned us. I don't know why, but we, for whatever reason, had not seemed to be able to beat the Raiders. I don't know why. But, again, thankful for the victory. Temperature was bad. Conditions were terrible. It was an honorary game for Franco.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got the win. You know what I mean? And again, we move on. That's all I can say. Take it one game at a time and move on.
Yeah, you got to give some credit to your defense. They pretty much shut the Raiders out in the second half.
The Raiders opened the game with a nice drive, and they put the ball in the end zone. But after that, Carr couldn't get it done, man. Carr threw pick up the pick. So, hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I do not apologize for getting picks.
Yeah. Don't apologize for getting wins.
Yeah,
I told you.
I don't.
There's no column for close wins.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I take a win however they come. Like right now, my Saints are winning ugly. You know what? But I'm taking those wins. I don't care what you say. I don't care if you put your high school team up against them and they get the win. I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir. All right, let's move on to the Sunday games. We had the Dolphins against the Packers. The Dolphins were at home and were 4-point home favorites. We all went with the Dolphins. We just all felt that there was no way the Dolphins could lose this game. No way. But man, if you watch this game, and I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember when Tua took the hit where he hit his head on the turf and apparently had a concussion and continued the game. Now, I'm not sure if that happened before he went on a tear of like 2 straight interceptions to close out the game. I mean, 2 horribly bad interceptions. Like, this team is primarily like a rhythm and timing type passing offense. And I don't know if the Packers baited him into these interceptions or his concussion had anything to do with that. But looks like this kid is going to be out next week.
But I think that it goes to both parts, because right now they're taking the top off. So they're sending, so when you take the top off, that means that you really got to like protect him for longer than 8 seconds in that pocket in order to let Hill get down there and get past him, because they pushing people back a little bit further than normal. Now that means that you got to send somebody across the middle. That Tua look off is not working no more. Tua was the master of moving the defender with his head, as far as but guess what? Defenses aren't falling for that. Tua wants you to go there, guess what? And he's going against what we call defensive reads. So if you're reading, he's going with that assignment that I need to cover that gap. And now Tua is throwing to that window that just opened by you just leaving your assignment. They're exerting defensive coverage, and they're staying in their zones.
Yep.
And now your Tua can't think past that first read that he's supposed to be getting with that look off, and now he's got to go to his third option, which is just not there. So I think that's right there is something that I would like to see the Dolphins adjust. But right now, I don't think that Tua's going to be back for the next. I don't even think he's going to be back into the playoffs. And if you look at both teams, going in 2 different directions.
But you got to ask yourself. I mean, are the Dolphins better off with Teddy Bridgewater back there anyway?
Teddy Bridgewater is susceptible to getting sacked as well. He doesn't have the
But,
great wheels, but he has
but,
a.
but he's going to take care of the ball. And Teddy Bridgewater is not going to throw interceptions.
But he's gonna get sacked too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine. Just don't turn it over. So
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, back to the Sunday games. This was the game that surprised the hell out of me. The Rams at home against the Broncos. The Broncos were 2.5-point road favorites and lost to the Rams 51-14. I mean, this game was ugly from start to finish. And yeah, I can see why they fired the head coach after this, because this was not ugly. I mean, this game was ugly, and you can see that the team had pretty much given up on the head coach, right? I went ahead with the Broncos. I thought there was no way the Broncos were going to lose this game, not with that defense playing as well as it had been, but I think they finally broke in and have given up. So, Phil, Don, and Philly, y'all got the win on that by picking the Rams. Obviously, y'all knew something. Whatever. All right. Next, we had the Cardinals at home against the Bucks. The Cardinals were playing with a third-string quarterback, and the Bucks were 6.5-point road favorites. We all went with the Bucks, and the Bucks squeaked out a win in overtime. Not a good look for the Bucks. One of the reasons, yeah, I don't think they're gonna win a division. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Lastly, we had the Monday night game. We had the Colts at home against the Chargers. The Chargers were 4-point road favorites here. We all went with the Chargers, and the Chargers got the win and also clinched their playoffs. Clinched the playoffs. So the Chargers are in the playoffs, which I'm happy about, because that means the coach will keep his job and they can stop worrying about trying to get Sean Payton. Hopefully Sean Payton to come back home. All right. So Philly Fanatic went 12-4 with the picks. I mean, what the hell is this? With our guests coming over here, outshining us with these picks, man. This is like the fourth straight guest that had double-digit wins over us, man. This is ridiculous.
Man, I don't know what it is. It's just funny because it's a Philly fan and a Dallas fan that's basically killing us.
Right. That's right, because Dale went like 11-5 or something like that. And Philly Fanatic goes 12-4. Phil, we got to give him credit again. Phil went 10-6. He's been on a bit of a tear. Now he's 125-80. He's still in the driver's seat, officially in the driver's seat. Don went 9-7. I went 8-8. I've been tanking the last 3 weeks. I'm gonna get it together. You know, I don't want to continue to embarrass myself. I gotta get some better picks here. All right. So let's go on to week 17. All right, let's go. Thursday night, we got the Titans at home against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 10-point road favorites here. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win by more than that. The Titans with Malik Willis at quarterback, yeah, they're not looking good. I think the Titans are falling apart. Tannehill is out for the season. And yeah, they just don't have the juice anymore. Jaguars are going to win this division. I got the Cowboys winning. Who you got, Don?
Man, I'm going with the Cowboys. I think the Titans they just they falling apart at the edges right now.
Yeah, man. Are you sure about that? I mean, you've been ragging on Cowboys fans all season long.
Yeah, but I think right now they got their mojo, and I don't think they're gonna let a backup quarterback come and beat them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Malik Willis went 14-23 last game for 99 yards and 2 interceptions. So, yeah, and that was against the Texans. So, yeah. Who you got, Dee Riles?
I got the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are a little too strong for them, man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this. I don't know. I'm not sure what the scenario is for the Jaguars to get into the playoffs, but yeah, this definitely will help them get there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the Jaguars deserve it.
I think so too. I mean, even though it's a bad division, but they definitely deserve to be in the playoffs compared to those other 3 teams.
Yeah, they're playing good ball.
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay, all right, moving on. We got the Sunday games. We got the Falcons
Did
at
Philly
home.
give you his pick?
Oh yeah, he sure did. Wait, hang on. Let me tell you what Phil gave me. All right, let's see. So Phil picked. He picked the Cowboys as well.
Okay.
All right, fine. I was gonna leave his picks off. I mean, he already got enough. He already got enough wins on the season. All right, whatever. All right, so next we got the Falcons at home against the Cardinals. The Falcons are 3.5-point home favorites. Yeah, even though I don't like the Falcons, they can't lose to the Cardinals, right? Right at home, right? Desmond Ridder in his third game started. He should be ready now. The Falcons can't lose this game. If the Falcons lose this game, Nate, you know, I'm going to call you, Nate. So I'm going with the Falcons. Phil went with the Falcons. Who you got, Don?
I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I think right now the Cards are backing it up for the season.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're done. I think their coach is on his way out. Hopefully, Sean Payton doesn't go there. Who you got, Dee Riles?
I'm going with the Cardinals, man.
What?
Because the Falcons haven't shown me anything. I just don't. I can't believe in the Falcons. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm having a hard time.
It's hard.
It's hard. You know, I mean, I already don't like them, and then I know they're terrible.
It's really hard. It's really hard to say Falcons with your chest out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's really hard. You know what I mean. It just
right.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I mean,
no, I understand completely. It's hard. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a Falcons fan. You know.
Well, I mean, it's just sad. It's just tough times.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's probably very depressing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm happy that they're in my division.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
All right, moving on. We got the Lions at home against the Bears. The Lions are 5.5-point home favorites. Yeah, I'm going with the Lions right here, and Phil went with the Lions as well. Don, who you got?
Going with the Bears.
Okay, the Bears. Dee Riles.
Lions.
I think the Lions got to win this game to keep pace for the playoffs.
And that's where the mistake is.
You think they're gonna try too hard and lose this game?
Correct.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. But I'm still going with the Lions. All right, next, and we ain't got to spend a lot of time on this one. We got the Chiefs at home against the Broncos. The Chiefs are 13.5-point home favorites here. Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. And Phil is going with the Chiefs. Don.
Chiefs.
I think everybody's going with the Chiefs.
Okay. Right. All right. I mean, it looked like Don was thinking about this, like he was doing the math on this. Like he was, no. Okay. All right.
Not even close.
Not even close. All right. Let's move on. Let's not waste any time with that. All right. Next, we have the Patriots at home against the Dolphins. The Patriots are 2.5-point home favorites. The Patriots. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to bring some stability to that Dolphins offense, and the Dolphins are going to win this game. I'm going with the Dolphins. Let's see what Phil is. Phil went with the Patriots. Who you got, Don?
It's a tough one, man, because the Patriots, they're playing enough defense where as though they can win the game. But I think Bridgewater is going to do what he needs to do. So that's not the big fall off from quarterbacks. I'm going to go Miami.
Okay. Dee Riles.
I'm going Patriots. It's hard to bet against Belichick at home, man.
Yeah, I made that mistake a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the Belichick of old.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard to say Teddy Bridgewater with your chest out. I mean, that's another one I do not believe in. I just don't believe in Teddy.
I like Teddy. He had a lot of success with us. He went 5-0 as our starting quarterback. I just think he hasn't got a good shake wherever he went. He took the money, he took the bag and went to Carolina and been knocked around ever since. Um,
He's a journeyman, man. That's how I look at him. You know,
yeah,
he just playing for a check.
he is. He could have stayed in New Orleans and could have been our future quarterback. Could have been our starter.
I think he could care less if he wins or loses.
I think so. I agree with you. He
Yeah,
got that 20
yeah.
million a year, and he don't care.
As long as the check is in the mail.
Right. He don't care. All right. All right. So next we have the Giants at home against the Colts. The Giants are 5-point home favorites. Yes, I'm going with the Giants. Phil is going with the Giants. Don, who are you going with?
Giants.
Dee Riles.
Giants all day.
Well, you don't want to stick your chest out and say Nick Foles and Jeff Saturday?
The Colts are done. Jeff Saturday is he's 2 games from walking the street as a coach. He'll be looking for a job. He'll be back in the studio.
You back in the studio?
Facts.
He'll be back in the studio.
Yeah, I agree. You know, he had a nice start.
It was a good story.
Yeah.
It felt good. It was a good story.
Right.
I think he won his first game. You know, it looked like it was a good decision, but he's terrible. He can't get it done. He stinks.
He ran out of motivational speeches.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. It's like, well, what could he say now? You know, I mean, he came in with a good motivational speech, and then the second game, he didn't have anything to say because he wasn't there during training camp, during the preseason, you know, during workout. He don't even know these guys. He probably stand there, hey, you, come here, number 22.
He wouldn't recognize half of them if you walk past him on the street.
Right.
Damn sure don't know their name.
Right.
I would say Phil Murray, being familiar with the locker room is not his strong suit.
Right. Right. Hey, you. All right. Next, we got the Eagles at home against the Saints. The Eagles are 6.5-point home favorites. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to play. Gardner Minshew is probably going to play. If the Eagles put up, was it 31, 34 points like they put up against the Cowboys, if they do that against us, the Eagles are going to win because my offense just cannot go. They just cannot put up any points. So, with that said, yes, damn it, I'm going with the Eagles here. I'm way behind. I got to catch up to you and Phil. You know, I may change my mind later. Like I did last week. But I got to go with the Eagles. Phil's going with the Eagles. Don, who you got, man?
Eagles.
Go on, Dee Riles. Don't make me look bad. Go with the Saints, baby.
Nah, man. Eagles all day, baby. Eagles all day.
You know what? God damn, y'all. I'm going with the Saints. I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Saints. Yeah.
Emotions.
Yes. Feelings
go
over
back home
facts.
Feelings over facts.
Yeah.
Feelings over facts. I'm going with the Saints. This is how I did it last week. I picked the Browns at first, and then I went back and I picked my Saints because they're going to be smart. They're going to pull this off. They know how to win now. I hope. Fingers crossed. All right. Next, we have the Bucks at home against the Panthers. The Bucks are 3-point home favorites. As I mentioned before, I don't know which Panthers team is going to show up because there's a good Panthers team somewhere inside there. But I do know that the Bucks are bad. The Bucks are really bad. Like Tom Brady is not himself. He is missing, passes that he normally makes, especially on the deep ball. And I think that's because of all the personal issues that he's had going on during the offseason and during the season. I think that affected him spending time with his team and building on that chemistry and that timing with his receivers. It is way off. I hadn't seen Tom Brady play like this. I'm going with the Panthers on this. I think Sam Darnold has proven that he should be the Panthers quarterback. Panthers will win this game. Phil disagreed with me. He's going with the Bucks. Don, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I think right now they got too much on the line, and I think this is probably gonna be the deciding game that's probably getting them in the playoffs.
Yeah, like I told you before, they control their own destiny. the Panthers if they beat the Bucks and beat the Saints the last game of the season, the Panthers are in the playoffs as the NFC South champion. Crazy as it may sound, a team that fired their head coach and probably I think they started off 1-3 or 1-4, something ridiculous. So, who you got, Dee Riles?
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. As much as I hate to do it, I think that I mean, Tom is still there. He still got a good receiving core. It's tough. The Bucks have really been playing bad, but I think they could pull this one out.
Yeah, I mean they definitely could. I mean they are at home. They seem to play better at home, but I don't know. They do not look like the same team from the past 2 seasons.
Oh, they don't scare anyone.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the Commanders at home against the Browns. The Commanders are 2.5-point home favorites. The Commanders need this game to stay pace with the playoffs. I'm going with the Commanders. Phil's going with the Browns. Who you got, Don?
I'm gonna go with the Browns on this one, and here's why. I think. Nah, I'm gonna switch that up. I'm gonna go with the Commanders. I had to think about that
What
because
about Scary Terry, man?
yeah, that's why I said I'm going with the Commanders because I just don't think that the Browns' offense is settled yet.
Right. I agree.
I'm going with the Commanders.
Well, you
I mean,
better.
I don't. I mean, Deshaun Watson. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I just don't know what's going on over there in Cleveland. And I mean, I'm glad they're losing. Don't get me wrong, but they just. I think they were better before Deshaun Watson came back. Honestly,
Really?
I think that they were moving the ball a little better.
The
Deshaun
chemistry was
Watson,
there.
The
Deshaun
chemistry was
Watson,
there.
Deshaun Watson has not impressed me.
Well, yeah, I didn't think he was going to be that good coming, week 11, week 12 of the season. So, but
That's too much rust.
yeah, that's too much rush. I would judge him next season to see how he fits in. But I just don't see him as a cold weather quarterback. So I just don't think it was a good fit to go to Cleveland. Like,
Well,
you got to be a big on quarterback like Josh Allen.
you probably need some women around him. You know what I mean?
I think his wallet says otherwise, whether it's a good fit or not.
Well, you know what?
If you-
I'm gonna leave that alone. We're gonna go to the next. We're gonna go to the next game. I'm not gonna get myself in trouble here. All right. Next, we got the Texans at home against the Jaguars. The Jags are 4-point road favorites here. You know what? I've been picking against the Texans the last 3 games, and the Texans have really impressed me. Like I told you, you don't judge Lovie Smith. You don't judge him this season. You give him next season. And he's showing you something with those Texans. He's a good coach. You just got to get some talent around him. So I'm going with the Texans. Even though I still have the Jaguars winning this division, I think the Texans, they got something going here, and they're going to win this game. I'm going with the Texans. So, and let me see what Phil went with the Jags. Don.
I'm going with the Jaguars.
You going with the Jaguars?
Jaguars all day.
Jaguars all day. So I'm going at this alone. Fine, I don't care. I'm going with the Texans. They've been showing something here.
Jaguars playing good ball.
They are. But it's just something about the Texans. And in fact, I'm gonna watch this game because I want to see what the Texans are doing that's so different.
Not enough to win.
They won. They won the last one. All right. Next, we got the Raiders at home against the 49ers. 49ers are 5.5-point road favorites. Yeah, I'm going with the 49ers. I'm big on the Kyle Shanahan running his team, that offense. Now he's got a bunch of weapons there. Even with a third-string quarterback, I think the 49ers are still the best team. Well, I wouldn't say the best team in the NFC, but one of the better teams in the NFC. So, yeah, 49ers. Phil's going with the 49ers. Don, who you got?
49ers.
Okay.
49ers all day.
All day. All right. All right, next we got the Seahawks at home against the Jets. The Jets are 2.5-point road favorites here. Both teams are 7-8. Both teams need this game. I'm big on the Jets. I'm hearing that Mike White should play this game. I have the right to change my pick if he doesn't. No, I'm kidding. I'm going with the Jets. Mike White is going to play, and he's going to play, and the Jets are going to win this game. So I got the Jets winning. Phil's got the Jets winning. Don, who you got?
Yeah, I got the Jets. I think that and if I'm not mistaken, Flacco is the reserve. So Zach,
No, is he?
yes. So Zach is not suiting up for this one. So I think that they've kind of made their decision. So yeah, I'm going with the Jets because they're making a bold statement with this one.
Okay, because they benched Zach last week, and they brought in some other guy that was kind of a read option type quarterback and couldn't do anything. I mean, Zach was just missing. I mean, he missing the layups, yo, the swing pass, the intermediate routes, the short intermediate routes. How could you miss that, dude? So yeah, Dee Riles, who you got?
Gino has been very unimpressive as of late.
Yeah.
I watched him last week and he stinks. I'm going with the Jets. I'm going with the Jets.
Yeah, no, we were all high on Gino early in the season, and he just kind of faded away.
Same old Gino.
Yeah, well, we can't say that. He's in the Pro Bowl. He's a Pro Bowl
He's in the
quarterback.
Pro Bowl, so it's not the same old Gino
Not
now.
the same old Gino. He started off strong. Yeah.
Was everybody else busy? Why is he in the Pro Bowl?
I guess
had something to do.
Maybe the other quarterbacks
Him
had
putting up almost 4,000 yards. Yeah,
Yeah, what?
27 touchdowns.
And Tom Brady's stinking it up. So yeah. And then there's no quarterback coming out of San Francisco. So I guess he just made it because there's nobody else.
Made it based on circumstance.
Based on circumstance. I mean, I guess Aaron Rodgers is not going. So yeah, it was just like, hey Gino, what you doing? What you doing in February, March? You got some time available? Whatever the Pro Bowl is, yeah, come through. All right, next game. We got the Packers at home against the Vikings. The Packers are actually 3-point home favorites here. I took that into account. And I took into account that this is going to be, in Lambeau Field, in the cold, probably snowy. I think that's going to slow down the Vikings offense and expose the Vikings defense. So I got the Packers winning this game. So I'm going with the Packers. Phil's going with the Vikings. Don, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this one, and here's why. I'm still not bought in on whether he's bought into the system or not, or whether he's going to really try to fight back. I think he just did a couple of games to make the fan base feel good, but I don't think he's bought all in to the system. So
I
yeah,
agree with you. I agree with you. I think he's ready to get out of there. But speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he wants to be there. But I think that run game is still too strong with the Packers, and it's going to expose the Vikings defense even more. But anyway, Dee Riles, who you got?
I like the Vikings on this one. They seem to have a horseshoe in their back pocket.
A rabbit's foot.
Yeah, rabbit's foot. The Packers, I mean, like you said about Aaron, he looks very uninterested at times. Like he can't wait for the season to end. So, this was a tough one, but I got to take the Vikings. I just think they've been playing better ball, and I don't think if the game is close, I don't think they'll panic. I think that's their style of play.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are definitely right on this. I got a feeling about this one. So feelings over facts. I'm going with the Packers. All right. Next, we got the Chargers at home against the Rams. The Chargers 6.5-point home favorites. I'm going with the Chargers here. Phil's going with the Chargers. Don, who you got?
I'm going with the Chargers on this one.
Dee Riles.
Chargers. This was easy. Chargers.
I don't know if it's easy, and it is kind of. I went with the Rams at first. I don't know what's happening with the Rams, but this Baker Mayfield thing is kind of working out for him somehow, some way.
It's Baker Mayfield, man.
I know. They put up 51 against the Broncos last week. I hear you, but I got to go with the Chargers. But I don't know if the Chargers are motivated anymore. The Chargers made the playoffs.
That go to show you how bad.
You know what?
I just go to show you how bad the Broncos are.
Yeah, but I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Rams. I don't think the Chargers are motivated anymore.
Okay.
They might be looking for
bold pick.
It's a bold pick. They might be looking for playoff positioning, but I don't think they're that motivated. They clinched the playoffs last week. I'm going with the Rams. That's a bold pick. Probably a dumb one too.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm gonna go with the Rams here.
I mean, you said you had a bad record picking. You was tired. You said you was tired of embarrassing yourself, but you continue to do it.
Well, you know, hey, you know what? I might as well continue down this rabbit hole of bad picks. Right? Just continue the streak.
Yeah, I see.
All right. Now this is the one I want to hear. All right, this is the Sunday night game. We got the Baltimore Ravens at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens are 3-point home favorites here. I don't think the Ravens are motivated anymore. If I don't see Lamar Jackson run out on that field, I don't think they're winning this game. I'm going with the Steelers. Phil's going with the Steelers. Don, I know who you're going with. But tell me
the blatant disrespect on this show is going to have to stop. I mean, it's going to have to stop. One way or another, y'all going to have to either get on the bandwagon, man, or take off the T-shirt, man, because I'm going to tell you like this. The Steelers are competing for draft picks, man. They're done. It's no way they're going to pull this out. I mean, lunch meat in the backfield.
Who's your quarterback
They're not
again?
going to move the ball.
Who's your quarterback again?
The one that won the last time we played the Steelers?
You don't know his name.
The one who won the last time.
Yeah, okay.
Huntley's coming in. Yeah.
Oh, Huntley's back. Okay. Yeah, now you know I don't believe. Definitely going with the Steelers.
And that's why you're in third place. Continue.
Steelers all day, man.
All
day.
All day?
All day.
I mean, would you say the record, the last, 10 games against the Ravens?
Oh, no, you want our overall record? We're 32-25 against them. They are little brothers, man.
Hey,
little brothers, man.
Bring that record to your field and see if it helps you out. Have that record throw some completions for you.
Yeah. We'll see.
Bang, bang.
We'll see. I'm going to be watching this. So,
okay.
But I mean, I want to know how motivated the Ravens are. Are y'all really trying to win the division? Or are y'all happy with just making the playoffs and getting, Lamar back?
We happy anytime we can pour dirt on the Steelers' grave. And believe you me, they're in the basement, so we're just covering up the rest of it.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen, he's winning right now. It sounds good. It is what it is. It's a bad season for us, but we're still fighting. Still got to punch his fans.
It's a terrible season for you.
All right. Well, this is being recorded, so depending on what happens next week, we're gonna be listening to this, and we're gonna clown whoever picked the wrong team here.
It's hard to clown the playoff team, but I'll listen.
All right. Lastly, we got the Monday night game. We have the Bengals against the Bills here. The Bills are 1-point road favorites. Yeah, that's all nice. I like what's going on in Cincinnati. I think the Bengals are going to win this game over the Bills. Bills are strong. The Bills are tough. But I'm going to give Cincinnati the edge because they're the home team. Phil's gonna go with Cincinnati. He's gonna go with the Bengals, of course, because he's been, hooping and hollering about the Bengals all season long. So, Don, who you got?
I'm going with the Bills. This is a no-brainer.
This is because because you hate the Bengals?
Facts over feelings.
I got the Bengals winning.
You got the Bengals winning. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Hey, thank you to our listeners for joining us again. We do this thing every week. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and share. We love to interact, so we'll see you next week. Take care.